Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It is Tuesday, June 23rd, 2026 at 6:30. This is the Conservation Commission for the Town of Hull. My name is Paul Paquin. I'm chair tonight. This meeting is being recorded and the recording has begun. This meeting is also being done by remote participation using Zoom. If you are on a phone, please keep yourself muted until required to talk by using *6. To come out of that, you do *6 again. Let me see here. The charge of the Conservation Commission is as follows. The Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act sets forth a public review and decision-making process by which activities affecting areas subject of protection under the Act, for example, flood zones, dunes, barrier beaches, wetlands, marshlands, etc., are to be regulated in order to contribute to the following interests: protection of public and private water supply, protection of groundwater supply, flood control, storm damage prevention, prevention of pollution, protection of land containing shellfish, protection of fisheries, protection of wildlife habitat. So, Ian, tell us, are there any changes from the published agenda?
So we did get a request for continuance, and that is going to be for 15 Clifton Ave. And
Okay.
Generally, because we didn't get the DEP number.
Recording in progress.
Whoop.
Sorry, Lou. There must have been the other one. So nonetheless, 15 Clifton Avenue has requested a continuance to the following meeting, which is going to be on July 14th.
Okay.
And then among that as well, I haven't heard from. Oh, they're actually not on here. Never mind. So that's all we have for a continuance as of now.
Okay, so if you are here for 15 Clifton Ave, be aware that we will just continue that meeting to the next meeting. And so we will not be hearing that presentation. And that's the only one you listed, right, Ian?
Yep, that was the only notice of intent that is continuing. Likely the North Nantasket Beach operation and maintenance plan will also need to be continued. Just didn't know if we had anything to add to that, but
okay.
Likely there will be minimal discussion, if any.
Great. Thank you so much. Okay, the way the procedures work here in Massachusetts is as follows. I will open the hearing and read the interests of the act specific to that property. The applicant or their representative will present their project. Then the commission will ask questions. The hearing will then be opened to the public for comments and questions. Finally, the commission will ask any additional questions and hopefully render a decision by roll call vote. And then the staff will give guidance to the applicant as to what happens next. So I call this meeting to order. Again, a reminder to those on the phone to mute your microphone with *6 or turn it back on with *6 also. So we're going to start with request for determination of applicability. 15 Point Allerton Avenue. This is 634. The applicant is Wouter Unrietsema. The proposed work is install 8 feet by 10 feet bike shed extension off the existing shed. Butter notification is not required because it's a RDA, request for determination of applicability. The resource areas are Barrier Beach, land subject to coastal storm flowage, AO 3 feet. The interest of the act is storm damage protection and flood control. It's likely wildlife habitat and pollution prevention is also of concern. Site visits were done at least today, June 23rd, 2026. Good evening. Wouter, are you with us? Is there
Hi,
anyone?
I'm speaking on behalf of Water, and I'm Anthony Bagney. I'm the contractor on the project.
Great, Anthony. Welcome to you.
Thank you.
Hey, talk us through this,
Hello,
please.
everyone. So see that little shed right there? Yep. We're gonna build a shed on the shed. So I just want to dig 2 footings right there because what's in the shed right now is all their bike equipment.
Yeah.
And they have their children come down a lot, and everybody's physically active. So the play is we're going to turn the shed into a gym, and then we're going to put the bikes in that little area there. And there's a shower there, and there's also a couple air condensers behind the shower, and then there's an access to the under the house area. So we'd be closing this off, but it's okay because we can go around the back side of the shed and access that whole side of the property. And the shed itself is 6 feet off the property line. But there's on the opposite side of where I'm proposing to build, there's also the service for the electrical. So we couldn't put it on that side. So that's why it's in the location it's in.
Okay, I'm a little confused. You're showing on your drawing, is that the new shed, the 8 foot by 4 foot?
Yes.
Oh, your application was for 8 feet by 10 feet.
All right. Those don't line up then. Yeah, I'm gonna just do a 4 foot by 8 foot.
Okay, so it's 11 feet off of the property line.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Commissioners, what did you see on your site visits and what concerns do you have? Okay, not hearing any. Is there anyone from the public who has something to say about this project at 15 Point Allerton Ave? Not hearing any. I'll just ask you a question. It's rare that we see a drawing that has these kinds of markings on it. On the bottom right-hand corner where it says 18, elevation 18, what is that square there? Is that part of the property too?
That
Right.
is your driveway.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Okay. Commissioners, any concerns? Is
No,
there
only
a
that
motion?
we change
Yes.
the, notate the plan to say 4x10 or 8x4.
No, hold on. Tony, are you telling us that I heard you say that you're going to build it 8 feet by 4 feet
Yes, I'd like to build it as drawn, not as labeled.
as drawn? So is that okay, Lou?
Yeah. Can we
Okay.
change the label?
Yeah, well, we'll have to change put a note on the application.
That's fine.
Okay, I'll entertain that motion then
I move that we issue a negative determination for 15 Allerton Ave.
Fremont County,
Is-
Idaho, is pleaded not guilty.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. I probably should have taken the roll call before we started this, but I know we have our quorum, correct, Ian?
We do. We should. We should.
Thank you. Okay, I'll take the vote. Paul Wilson,
Aye.
thank you. Tammy, Best,
Aye. Aye.
thank you. Danielle Dolan,
No, Daniel.
Kate Jacinto, Lou Sorgi,
Aye.
Paul Paquin, I'm for it, and the motion carries. Sam Campbell.
Aye.
Sorry, Sam.
No worries.
Oh, I'm tired.
Sam just snuck in.
The motion passes. Hold for a minute, Tony, and Ian will tell you what happens next.
Thank you, everyone.
Of course. Tony, I'm familiar that, I'm confident that you are familiar with the permitting process. So as you know, I'll follow up with the determination of applicability. There is the appeal period that exists for the state to follow up with the commission if they had any concern about the decision. So once that is issued, it begins that process. And if you have any questions about any of that, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you, Ian. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Take care, Tony. Have a good night.
You as
Okay,
well.
thank you. It being 6:40, 337 Beach Avenue, 337 Beach Avenue. The applicant is Francis Luisi. Proposed work is install an outdoor shower, 4 feet by 7 feet. Abutter notification is not required. This is an RDA. The resource areas are within 100 feet of a buffer zone to a coastal beach. It's a barrier beach. It's land subject to coastal storm flowage of velocity VE 15 feet. The interest of the act is storm damage protection and flood control, likely wildlife habitat and pollution prevention. Site visits were done at least today, June 23rd, 2026. Welcome, Francis. How are you? Are you here tonight?
This is me too, Paul. Anthony
Oh,
Bagni again. I
welcome.
got this
Hi,
one too.
Anthony. Go right ahead. Talk us through this.
Another simple one. Frank just hey buddy. Frank and his family just bought this house, and the first thing they want to do to it is put an outdoor shower in. So I ran right down there and for this.
Okay. And that's showing it right there in the center of the property line.
Yep.
Great. Commissioners, what did you see? What are your concerns?
I would more minutes. Keep it.
Okay, don't hear any. Is there anybody from the public who has something to say about this project requested at 337 Beach Avenue? Back to the commission. Do I have a motion or is there more discussion?
I just have a question. How's it going to drain?
Good question.
We typically will build a platform. I'll set it either right on the sand or I'll put it on some cinder blocks buried in the sand, but it's all beach sand there, and then the water will just drain right into the sand. No special drainage.
Okay, Lou, you concerned about anything else?
No. Thinking whether that's sufficient, but I guess it is.
Where it's sand, it's kind of tough to
Yeah.
do much else.
Right. Okay.
I'll entertain a motion if somebody has one. Or more discussion.
How about the public? Do we do public yet?
I asked about the public, but let me ask again, is there someone from the public who has something to say about this project at 337 Beach Ave? Nope, I don't see.
Okay. Well, I move that we issue a negative determination for 337 Beach Ave.
Is there a second to this motion?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, I'll take the roll. Sam,
Aye.
Tammy,
Aye.
Danielle, Kate, Lou,
Aye.
Paul Pegwin, I'm for it. Paul Wilson,
Aye.
the motion carries. Thank you very much. We will issue an RDA for this process. And Tony, Ian will tell you what's next, but you probably already know it.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you.
Okay. Take
Thank
care.
you. No worries. Confident Tony is aware of the process, and I'll follow up with him for the next steps.
Thank you, Ian. Okay, it being 6:44, 139 Atlantic Ave, Constance Lacasse. Proposed work is install an 8 by 10 foot shed. Abutter notification is not required. Resource area is barrier beach, storm damage protection and flood control, likely wildlife habitat, land subject to coastal storm flowage, AE 11 feet. And the interest of the act is storm damage protection, pollution prevention, flood control, and likely wildlife habitat. Site visits were done at least today, June 23rd, 2026. Welcome, Constance. Are you with us?
I'm not sure if they were able to make it. I did let them know I would present in the case that they were
Okay.
here. So it sounds like that is the case. So it's a relatively straightforward project. Applicant is just looking to install a 8-foot by 10-foot shed in the front of their home, and that is going to be on the Atlantic Ave side.
Okay. Commissioners, any concerns?
Going to be on cinder blocks or
I do believe it is just going to be on cinder blocks. The home is all elevated already as it is, so
right?
I believe it would just be on cinder blocks to continue to allow for that flow through.
Got it.
Right. Okay, that would be my concern, just the flow through.
Yeah. But I can confirm with the applicant prior to issuance.
Okay. Is there anyone from the public here who has something to say about this project at 139 Atlantic Ave?
Mr. Chair, this is Renee.
Yes, Renee.
I would just suggest to the commission that they add a special condition stating that that the foundation for the shed needs to be flow through.
Well, there's normally no foundations on
Or
shed-
it has to be, on blocks,
on
elevated.
blocks. Yeah,
That's
good,
what I meant. Sorry.
very good idea. Thank you so much. Commissioners, any more discussion or is there a motion?
I had Mr. Chair, Chris
Yes,
Croft,
Chris.
Director. Just,
Good.
I hadn't done any site visits and I'm looking at the photo. And it looks like, is that a dune in front of the house where this shed is going, or what is that vegetation?
I took this earlier. I didn't see any dune vegetation, but it does appear to be some long grasses. I didn't take too good of a look at it to do any identification, but I didn't see dune grass, but I didn't take the closest look, so I can't confidently answer.
For what it's worth, I've seen this property quite a few times and there was never any real dune here. It's very rocky, but people plant landscape type ornamental grasses, and I believe that's what's there.
It's on the Atlantic Ave side too.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
believe.
Yeah, it is. It's on the other side, towards the pond side.
Right.
Is there a motion or any more discussion needed?
I move that we issue negative determination for 139 Atlantic Avenue with the special condition that it remain flow through underneath the shed.
Okay. Is there a second to this motion?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? I'll take the roll. Tammy?
Aye.
Thank you. Lou?
Aye.
Paul Paquin and for it, Paul Wilson,
Aye.
and Sam Campbell.
Aye.
The motion passes. Okay, let's see. It being 6:48. 45 Terrain Ave. Gary Twombly. Proposed work is install a 20 by 20 foot paver patio. A butter notification is not required. Resource area is Barrier Beach. Land subject to coastal storm flowage, AE 10 feet. The interest of the act is storm damage protection, flood control, likely wildlife habitat, and pollution prevention. Site visits were done at least today, June 23rd, 2026. Good evening, Gary. Are you with us today?
I am. I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're
Crazy
hearing
echo going
multiple
on right now.
copies
Do you
of
have
your
two
voice.
phones in the room?
There are two phones running at the same time.
One of
I think
them
so.
has to mute their mic or something.
Okay.
Oh, it might sound better
Say
now,
something,
Gary.
please, Gary.
Yep. So I'm here.
Okay, you're clear now. Thank
That
you.
sounds better.
Walk us through this, and Ian, would you show us a drawing now, please?
Yeah, sorry. It was not responding. I was just trying to pull up the locus first to give you an idea. 45 terrain. And let me pull up the plan.
Report you have a parasitic infection, common cold, sinus infection, inflammation in the nose, flu or flu-like symptoms.
Okay.
Or sore throat may occur.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. So Gary, talk us through what you're using pavers there, pervious.
Yes, I'm doing about 20 by 20 paver patio, and have plenty of room for it. I'm here to answer any questions.
Do you have, I'm looking at a dimension that I can see here, 64 feet across the back there. So do you know how far you're going to be away from the border?
From the back of it, from where my fence is 4 feet, and off to the left of that, that is 7 feet.
Okay.
Now I'll be abutting my flower bed where the fence is and where my deck is.
And in this process, are you also removing that existing shed?
That's gone. That's already been. This is an old diagram. That's been gone.
I got it. Okay. Commissioners, what are your thoughts? What did you see when you did site visits?
Are they
What do you-
permeable pavers?
Yes.
Because it just says pavers on the.
Yes. True Block or something like that's called.
Yeah.
And you know you can't use stone dust.
Correct.
Okay.
Anyone else from the commission? Is there someone from the public who has something to say about this project at 45 Terrain Ave? Not hearing any. I'll come back to the commission. Is there a discussion to be had, or is there a motion? And are there any specials on the motion?
I move that we issue a negative determination for 45 Terrain Ave with the special conditions that the pavers be permeable, remain permeable in perpetuity, and that no stone dust be used.
Thank you. Is there a second to this motion?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion of the motion? Not hearing any. I'll take the roll. Lou.
Aye.
Thank you. Paul Paquin, I'm for it. Paul Wilson.
Aye.
Thank you. Sam.
Aye.
Tammy Best.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion carries. We will issue a negative determination, but Ian, please inform the applicant.
Absolutely. So you got a negative determination, which quite simply means that you are within the resource areas, but you will not be adversely impacting the resource areas to warrant a notice of intent. So same process generally as a notice of intent, where there is a 10 business day appeal period, and that exists for the state to appeal the town or the commission's decision if they felt the need to. So nonetheless, I'll follow up with that determination, and you're all set to build your patio as presented to the commission. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a
night
good.
and good luck for your project. Good.
Yeah. Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Thanks. It being 6:53, 0 George Washington Boulevard. The applicant is Nantasket Beach House, LLC. The proposed work is proposed temporary access for a test pit evaluation. About a notification is not required. Resource area within 100 feet of a buffer zone to a bordering vegetated wetland, within 200 feet of a riverfront area, and land subject to coastal storm flowage AE 10 feet. The interest of the act is storm damage protection, pollution prevention, and flood control. Who is representing Nantasket Beach House for this project?
Good evening, Commission. That would be myself, Cameron Larson, with ECR. I'm happy to
Welcome.
proceed when you're ready. Thank
Go
you.
right ahead. Welcome to you.
All right, excellent. So thanks for the introduction. Representing this RDA for the applicant tonight for the undeveloped lot off George Washington Boulevard. What you're looking here at on the screen is the undeveloped property located to the north of George Washington Boulevard. ECR completed a delineation of the property. We delineated a bordering vegetated wetland that encompasses a small upland area within the northern limits of the property. Much of the property is wetland. There is also a perennial stream to the south or within the southern portion of the property that extends over this upland, the riverfront extends over the upland a bit. We have a fairly straightforward proposal for the commission tonight. The property owner is seeking the approval of the commission to create some pathways to access that upland area, to complete some exploratory test pits. The property owner would like to get a little better idea if there's any ledge out there or what the soil condition is for potential future planning of the property. All this work is proposed to be done by hand, so we're not bringing in any excavator or any other type of equipment like that. It's just some understory brush that'll be cut for the pathways. The applicant will avoid all trees to get into that area, and then the test pits themselves will be dug by hand, using spade shovels and soil probes. Tonight we're seeking the commission's approval that this project or this work does not require the filing of a notice of intent. And I'd be happy to address any questions that the commission may have.
Great, thank you so much. The purple area you're showing proposed pathway there, part of it goes into the marshland. Did you mean to have that go in there?
I assume you're referring to that hatched area on the left
got it.
side there.
Yeah.
So that's not actually the marsh. That's depicted as that's the natural heritage habitat there.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
certainly don't need to go into that area necessarily, so we can avoid that habitat and make sure the pathways don't encroach into that.
Okay. Commissioners, what did you see on your site visits? What are your concerns?
They're just footpaths that are being put in there.
Yeah,
Right.
but they're just using it as access for the test pit.
Right.
Yeah, and you're coming in from South Truro Road?
The idea would be to come in likely from the abutting property. So the applicant certainly knows that the commission isn't, approving access over private property. That's something that the property owner will have to work out with his abutter there.
Gotcha.
But that's the idea.
Okay, that makes complete sense. Commissioners, any issues? Is there anyone from the public with something to say about this project at 0 George Washington Boulevard? This is the property to the left as you face it from George Washington Boulevard, left of the medical center. Okay. Back to the commission. Any other questions, concerns? This is all going to be done manually. Do we have a narrative for this, Cameron?
Yes, in the RDA, we provided a narrative with methodology that documents all that.
Good job. Thank you. Ian, I suspect you've read this and it's okay with you?
Yep, certainly. I did take a look through this, and I just had some questions that I was able to get answered. So no,
Excellent.
nothing that I really saw as an issue to begin with, or anything in particular that did scream out as an issue to me. The only thing that did come to mind, and just as a discussion of looking over this parcel, was just some identification factors just for some of these other varied priority habitat areas, just for what species in particular they belong to, whether it be plant or animal. So that was just one of the general questions, and I didn't think of anything else that popped up.
Okay. Commissioners, do you have a motion for me?
I move that we issue negative determination for 0 George Washington Boulevard with the special condition that all work be done manually, no excavators or heavy equipment brought in on the property, and that the pathway does not extend over into that special habitat area as shown on the plan. In fact,
Okay.
I'd like that removed from the plan.
Well, now that you've got it as a special condition, it's
Correct.
down- Thank you. Is there a second to this motion?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion of this motion? I'll take the roll call. Myself, Paul Paquin, I'm for it. Paul Wilson,
Aye.
Sam Campbell,
Aye.
Tammy Best,
Aye.
Lou Sorgi.
Aye.
Motion passes. Ian, help Cameron. What happens next?
Of course, of course. I am fairly confident the environmental consulting firm is very familiar, but nonetheless, I'll do a quick walkthrough. So there's the 10 business day appeal period. After that, I'll issue that. I guess the only question I would have is, where am I going to be sending this determination to? Is the mailing address on file for this application?
Why don't you go ahead and mail it to ECR and we'll make sure it gets to the applicant.
I can do that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good night. Good luck with your project.
Thanks. Have a good night.
Okay. It being 701 12 Mountford Road, applicant is Rhoda DeVito. The proposed work is install a paver patio approximately 700 square feet. About a notification is not required. The resource areas is Barrier Beach, land subject to coastal storm flowage. The interest of the act, however, is storm damage protection, flood control, pollution prevention, and likely wildlife habitat. Site visits were done at least today, June 23rd, 2026. Good evening, Rhoda. Are you with us?
Just the locus.
Okay. Do you know if she has a representative, Ian?
I'm not familiar if
Okay.
they do, but
How's her documentation? Can we tell ourselves? What
they have a good landscaping plan. I did have some questions for the applicant, but I hadn't gotten word from them. But I can present if the commission would like.
Where is the boundary of the property?
Yeah, so that was certainly one of the causes of concerns with this plan. This is a general landscaping plan and more or less a planting plan. That's what the applicant had provided. So we did reach out trying to get some clarifying details on the property boundaries and as far as how far away they would be. So those were some of the clarifying questions we did need answered.
Okay. Commissioners, what did you see when you got there? What are your concerns?
My concern is that it be properly mapped.
I agree completely. You need at least boundary area.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's just, I mean, we're required to have that and a locus. Okay. Should we, out of courtesy, should we continue her to the next meeting?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
My opinion.
One moment, though. Is there anyone from the public who has something to say about this project? Okay. In that case, I will entertain a motion to continue until
July 14th.
14th, correct.
I move that we continue the hearing on 12 Montford Road until July 14th.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Paul Wilson.
Aye.
Thank you. Sam Campbell.
Aye.
Tammy Best.
Aye.
Lou Sorgi.
Aye.
And Paul Paquin, I'm for it also. Okay. It being 7:04, 825 Nantasket Ave, Jacob Millen. Proposed work is excavate and pour one sonotube footing for rear stairs. About a notification not required. The resource area is Barrier Beach, land subject to coastal storm flowage, AO 2 feet. The interest of the act is storm damage protection, flood control, flood damage protection, pollution prevention, and likely wildlife habitat. Where's a drawing of the property?
So this is our locus map. It is down towards the Point Allerton or near the Daly and Wanzer.
Right. I see where it is. It's
down there.
Near the XYZ current issues.
So what we have appears to be some old blueprints that was provided by the applicant.
Okay.
So they were a little difficult to read. So I think we tried to run them over in black and white to make them a little more visible. But I believe the applicant's representative is here if they would like to speak on it.
Okay. Is there a representative here for 825 Nantasket Ave? It's
John Boyd.
Hi, John. Welcome.
Paul. Thank you. Hopefully this will be the easiest one of your evening.
It looks like it might.
This is an apartment building at the corner of Nantasket Ave and U Street. And we are rebuilding a 3-story rear set of stairs that is in a serious state of disrepair. The stairs have 9 existing footings, which are fine, but for some reason in the construction, which was about 30 years ago, these stairs, they just missed one. And it's at a critical point load for the landing going up to the 2nd floor. So all we're proposing is we do one 12-inch sonotube footing at that point for obvious structural reasons. And that's pretty much it.
Sounds pretty straightforward. That's right. Commissioners, any concerns?
Nope.
Okay. Is there anyone from the public who has something to say about this project at 825 Nantasket Ave, a footing for a set of stairs? Okay, back to the commission. I'll entertain a motion then.
I move that we issue a negative determination for 825 Nantasket Ave.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. As a discussion question, John, this is really in the middle of this property, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because the
Well,
parking.
yeah,
On this
it's
drawing,
behind the building.
Yeah, it's behind the building and
That's
there's
the parking
lot behind it.
Yeah, there's a parking lot for the building on the west side, or on the bay side.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, almost exactly in the middle of the property.
So but it's tough to tell with this.
Yeah, I apologize for that. It was really the best I could do for a platform.
No, it's accurate. It's okay. Just okay. I'll take the roll. Sam.
Aye.
Tammy.
Aye.
Lou.
Aye.
Paul Pigwin and for it. Paul Wilson.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you so much, John. Good luck with the project.
Thank you,
Ian,
Commissioner.
you know the whole thing with Ian.
Of course. John, I'll follow up with that determination and I can send it to you.
Yes, please, at 4 Sunset Avenue.
Will do.
Thank you very much, Commissioners.
You're
Have a good
welcome.
night.
Thank you.
Okay, it being 7:08, we're now moving into notices of intent. The first one is 15 Clifton Ave. Do we have a DEP number for
That
it?
one's being,
We don't
they asked
have
to
a
continue
DEP
it.
number and they are requesting continuance.
Okay. In that case, I'll entertain that motion, please.
I move that we continue the hearing for 15 Clifton Avenue until July 14th.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Take the roll. Tammy.
Aye.
Lou.
Aye.
Paul Paquin and for it. Paul Wilson.
Aye.
Sam.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Okay, it being, let me see, 7:09, 48 Western Ave. This is a continuation. The applicant is Gretchen Hamadon. The proposed work is install a driveway. A butter notification is provided. The resource areas is within 100 feet of a buffer zone to a coastal bank. There have been many site visits to this property. Good evening. Who is Gretchen? Are you with us tonight?
Chair Paquin, good evening. It's Adam Brodsky. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can, Adam. Welcome to you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. As you know, I'm a local environmental and land use attorney, and I represent the applicant Gretchen Amadon. I'm here this evening with, I believe, both Brendan Sullivan and Xander Oram, professional engineers with Merrill. The commission may remember that we've requested continuances of the last two hearings in order to conduct settlement discussions with Attorney Sullivan, who used to represent the abutters here. I'm not going to obviously disclose those communications, which are confidential. But during the course of those conversations, we revised the plan several times to both reduce impacts as well as to satisfy the concerns of Attorney Sullivan's clients. We had finalized that plan, thought we had reached final agreement, and were prepared to submit that to the Conservation Commission. At that point, Attorney Sullivan indicated that not all of his clients would agree and that he was going to resign from this engagement. I believe the Ronins, on behalf of the 49 Western Avenue Trust, who live at 49 Western Avenue, are now represented by Attorney Jeffrey DeLisi. I know that Attorney DeLisi submitted a letter today to the Conservation Commission on behalf of that trust, again, opposing the project, but with several new arguments. I emailed Ian McDonald with a brief response and respectfully suggest that Attorney DeLisi is wrong on a key point, and I'm prepared to address that at the appropriate time. However, since we had finalized this plan, we decided to present that plan, not the plan that was previously presented to you, again, in an effort to significantly reduce impacts. We've reduced the size of the proposed driveway, reduced the alterations within jurisdiction, and we've done our level best to try and reach agreement with the abutters. That does not seem possible. So I will have Xander present the project and the project changes and request that the Conservation Commission please close the public hearing tonight and vote to issue an order of conditions approving, which is really what a relatively minor access project to provide access to this property where none presently exists. So Xander, do you want to present the plan, please?
Please hold for a moment. Do not start. Commissioners, since we received almost all of this material today, am I the only one who has not had time to review it?
So Chair Paquin, you've had the plan for, I think, at least a week. So our information is not new. Regardless of whether the butters have submitted new information, we've done our part here. And again, we're looking to close the public hearing. We've been at this for months, trying to make people happy. We're unable to do so.
I understand. Ian, what did we receive today? I could have sworn.
Yeah, so that what Adam is referring to was from the abutters representatives that had sent something to our office requesting that I forward that along to the commission. So otherwise, I did get correspondence from Mr. Brodsky for those updated plans. I have them dated June 10th. Is that accurate?
I believe that's
the latest plan.
You've had it more than sufficient time. That's correct.
I remember.
So as far as the applicant's updated plans has been sent to the commission, but the proponents have sent some additional letters that were shared as soon as this evening. So I understand that portion of it.
Okay.
Well, I personally would like to hear. Go ahead.
Sorry, I think we resent the plans, which unfortunately may have added to confusion.
Okay, commissioners, what would you like to do with this? Are you ready to think about this?
Well, I'd like to hear from the applicant.
Okay.
About the plan, the new plan, what it is, what's different. Since they're here, and I've seen this plan, so I think we should go forward with that. If we want to look at the opposition, which came out today, that's a different issue. The applicant should have an opportunity to present.
Okay, commissioners, everyone from the commission okay with that? Anyone disagree? Okay, Xander, go right ahead. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Xander Orm from Maryland Engineers and Land Surveyors. Been working with Brendan Sullivan on this project. since the last hearing, we have made some changes to the plan to address various concerns. The main change we've made is removing the paved surfaces entirely. The entire driveway now consists of the AgTech GeoCell surface with crushed stone fill, as we had previously proposed for a majority of the driveway. It is now the entire driveway. The access from the street is now two 2-foot wide wheel runs, also consisting of the AgTech GeoCell and crushed stone fill. This access still maintains the existing slope that is on the property. We have removed the infiltration trenches at the bottom of the driveway since we're no longer proposing any impervious surfaces. We've deemed them unnecessary. And then we just added a few notes. One, to keep the existing metal landscape edging along the property line of 95 Highland Ave. It's right on the property line. We just want to make a point to maintain that. And then we are also still proposing a conservation seed mix at mitigation area between the limit of work and the, or rather within the resource area to revitalize that area. It's about 630 square feet. We believe we had that on the plan previously. We are maintaining that area in this current version of the plan. But yeah, that is all the changes we have made. We look forward to hearing your comments. Thank you.
Ian, can you make the plan bigger?
Of course.
And Chair Paquin, I should note that at the request of the GOES, we moved those wheel wells as far away from their property as we possibly could while staying on essentially the northern half of the way. So we moved those as far as away from their house.
Okay, thank you. Any other thoughts, Commissioner? Any other questions regarding this project? Okay.
So the area down towards the back, beyond the house, that's being done as a catch-all place by doing landscaping. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's a mitigation area. It consists of, I believe we have on the plan the planting. There should be a detail to the right. Yeah, the New England Wetland Plants Inc. Semi-shade grass and forbs mix.
That's actually not connected to the road, right? To the driveway?
No, that is just a mitigation area. It's just to revitalize a portion of lawn.
Commissioner Sorgi, you may remember that there were some concerns that water is going to migrate over the existing lawn and somehow cause erosion to the coastal bank. So I believe at the last public hearing, we had presented to remove a portion of the lawn and to revegetate it to eliminate any possibility. We didn't think that there was going to be any water across that lawn causing any erosion, but we wanted to provide an additional mitigation area. Again, in our efforts to try and reach agreement here and address some of the abutters' concerns, whether we thought that they were real or not.
Okay.
Well, is the abutter here?
Yes, we have some of the abutters here. If I can speak, I'd be happy to now, if you want to hear now.
You certainly may. Identify yourself, please.
So I'm Ann Ronan. I'm a resident at 49 Western Ave, which is directly across Western Ave from the project property, 48 Western Ave, Amadon property. The property is owned by a trust, and the lawyer for the trust unfortunately cannot be here tonight, but as you note, he did send a letter earlier summarizing some of the concerns of the family about this property, including a procedural concern where he believes that the application is invalid or at least incomplete because it didn't follow certain procedural requirements of the state. That's summarized much better in the letter than I can do, and I leave that to you all to discuss.
Okay.
This is not, it may be a relatively minor access project for Mr. Brodsky and for his client. It is a major change to the neighborhood. I have been a resident at 49 Western Ave for 70 years, coming each summer either full or part-time during that period. My family has been there for over 100 years. This has always been a grassy plot, a community resource. It provides public access to the water, popular enough that last year it became the top priority in the public access survey that was done for the town of Hull for access to water. This was the #1 priority at this access point for this part of town. This has been a location that has a 4th of July party every year. It has had a wedding a few years ago. It's had a lot of games of tag, a lot of people rolling down the hill. If you all made site visits, you know that's a steep hill. That's why people would roll down it. It's never been paved. There's not been attempts to pave it. It's been, excuse me, I've just lost my notes. It's been steep for a long time. And it's hard to believe that there's not going to be some impact on the bluff from this driveway. Again, it's an engineering point. I don't have the expertise just looking at it. If you've been there, you know that it's a steep hill, water's going to roll down. Okay. As to it being the time coming to review it, Mr. Brodsky may have submitted it publicly to the public record back on June 6th or June 10th or whenever he did it. He never told any of the abutters that there was a new plan to be reviewed. It was only last Friday afternoon, 2 business days before this meeting, that our attorney found out there was a new plan. And while we have seen some aspects before, we have not seen a lot of it, and we don't think it's detailed enough. And we've had enough time to at least have some questions raised. I think we need more time to review it, but I do have some questions and comments based on what we have seen. 1, the plan shows a stabilized construction entrance. This is in detail at the top left of the plan above what's showing on the screen now. It calls for a 6-inch raised area, raised above the grade, over there on the right, to go for 30 feet down the hill. Okay. Hopefully that is just for the construction and will be not there permanently, but there's nothing that actually says that on here. So we question whether that's something that will eventually be replaced by the 2 stone-filled tracks. 2, about the stone-filled tracks, the trenches. Are they all at the same grade as the hillside? There's a picture of them a little bit further over to the left side on the plan that shows that they're at the top is at the same level as the grass. Is that the grass that's there now? Is the idea that those will continue on the same grade on the same grade contour that exists on the hill now? If so, that's great, but it doesn't say that's what's going to happen. Hopefully that is, but we think that should be, that those 2 tracks going down should be on the same grade contour that exists now. Then the section near the house, what we've been told is the turning and parking section. The large flat section that's to the between the 2 houses, the Amadon property and the Goes property, and between the Amadon property and our property. This is the part that's the biggest piece that's going to affect the hillside the most. It's closest to the coastal bluff. There's nothing here to indicate, is that at grade? Is that going to be at the same grade as the hillside now, or is it going to be raised? If it's raised, is that going to affect the drainage? It's definitely going to impede the access, the part of it that's in the right-of-way. If it's raised and it's not simply flat on the hillside, it will affect the ability of people to pass over and pass back over that section. Also, the question is whether the part needs to be in the private right-of-way there, the section that's at the bottom of the tracks. Why can't the tracks just continue so that there's the least impact on that grassy plot that goes down the middle, the Western Ave section that's there? And then my final question is, what happened to the soil test? This commission asked for a soil test to be done on this project on the hillside, and maybe it has been, but we've never seen any indication that the soil tests have been done. So based on a very brief time to review this, those are the questions that we have. We think that if you conclude that you do have the authority to go forward and close this out today, that there's not a problem with those regs, although our attorney assures us there is. And I believe the GOES attorney might also believe that. And I'm not sure the GOES is the property between Highland Ave and the Amadon property. I'm not sure if that attorney is here tonight, but I believe that attorney may also have concerns about that. But if you believe you should go forward, I believe you should consider deferring at least another 2 weeks to let there be some more review of this, to let the abutters actually have some time to review and see if there are any other questions that raise on this project.
Okay. Thank you, Ann.
Chair Pakeman, it would be appropriate for me to briefly respond and then ask Xander to answer some of the technical questions.
I guess so. Yes, go right ahead.
So first of all, this plan has been in Attorney Sullivan's hands for weeks. He requested that we modify it. Whether he shared it with his clients or not, I don't know. But the suggestion that they've just seen it the end of last week, I don't think is a fair characterization. Their attorney, prior to getting new attorneys, had all of this information. Second, many of these issues were actually reviewed previously. You remember that the abutters had hired another engineering firm to peer review it, and we had addressed all of those concerns. All of the proposed elevations are shown on the plan, and Xander will correct me, we're not changing the grades in any material sense. The section of gravel at the bottom of the wheel runs is necessary because you're turning a car into that area. That's just a turn area that's not being used for parking. The description as that section is a parking area, but you need the gravel down there because otherwise people are not going to stay on the wheel runs and cause ruts, which could potentially cause problems out there. And there was no need to do the soil testing because we had eliminated all the impervious surfaces, which was driving the need, or at least the question raised by the former peer review consultant that, well, we're not sure that this is going to infiltrate. I'd like to ask Xander just to speak about the construction interest and to address any of the other technical issues. But all of this has been vetted. I mean, ultimately, the abutters have chosen to hire new attorneys. It's not our problem. It shouldn't be the commission's problem because we've been at this for months. Xander?
Yes, Adam.
Right ahead, Xander.
Oh, thank you. Yes, Adam, you were correct about everything. The construction entrance, I will say, is temporary. It's just for construction of the project. It will be removed and replaced with the wheel runs during the project or towards the end. Regarding the grade, that it will match the existing grade all the way down. We had originally proposed some grading, but that was removed quite a few iterations ago. And it does say on the plan, the label for the wheel runs, it does say maintain existing grade and that existing slope. And the soil testing, that was for the infiltration trenches, which we originally proposed around the paved areas. The paved areas are no longer proposed, and therefore we no longer propose the infiltration trenches, so no soil testing is required. And as Adam said, the turnaround area, that will need to be full geotech and crushed stone, because as you said, if we had wheel runs all the way through, the cars would not stay within them. It would cause additional damage to the area. We need a full flat surface, or not flat, you know what I mean. Need a full surface to turn around here.
And Chair Pakeman, most of these changes were specifically requested by Attorney Sullivan when he was representing the abutters, and we made these changes in response.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, what are your thoughts with this?
Well, it's Tammy. I just have one question, just because I don't remember. I know this is the geotech. We saw that. It's got the gravel on top. What's underneath this? Is this like a sand base, or how is it laid down?
If you don't mind just going to the bottom left corner of the plan, we have a detail for it here.
Great. Thank you.
So yeah, it's the geocell surface. It's 4 inches thick. It's filled with like 3/4 inch crushed stone fill. We would be removing all the unsuitable materials such as the loam and putting in a free draining gravel base all the way down to the good soils, also known as the sea layer.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So if I'm looking at this, the parking area here is between, I think, an elevation of 75 and an elevation of 73. Does that mean there's a 2-foot difference across a 10-foot wide parking space?
We do. So at the bottom there is where we do show a little bit of grading, but very minor to flatten that out slightly. But it was requested that we maintain the existing grade. So that's what we've done. It is a little steep, but it is drivable.
But when the person parks in that strip in front of the house there, that's not flat?
No, we would be maintaining the existing grade there.
Really? So they're parking at a 2-foot difference across 10 feet.
I mean, it's not quite I believe down there it gets a little
Says
flatter.
74, 72. That's 2 feet in my world. And then when they go to turn around, they're facing from 69 to 74. So they're facing a 5-foot difference in height. Slope. It just doesn't seem possible.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, it is a steep surface. Of course, if it was possible, we would flatten it out a bit more, but we've done our best to accommodate butter concerns as well as try to reduce disturbance within this area. So we've kept it more or less the same. It is possible, but it will be a little steep.
Yeah, I can't imagine trying to do this, even for a young person. Commissioners, any other concerns? Now, commissioners, do we, I've said it right from the very beginning, my point of view, and that is, I know so little about these types of very steep embankment roads, etc., that in my opinion, this requires peer review of that type of technology, because there's no way that I know very much about doing this. Hold for a minute here. There's the gentleman who's got his hand up. Daniel Hill, please. How can we help you?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Dan Hill. I'm a land use attorney based out of Boston. I represent Paul and Donna Goes. They are at the corner lot there on the corner of Highland and Western Ave. That's shown right where that mouse is.
Yep.
We share the concerns that were raised by Ann Ronan and her attorney earlier today. I did review the title to the property, and I reviewed the application this afternoon. And I did send in a belated memo to the commission, which you'll see tomorrow morning when you open your computers. But I did want to stress Attorney DeLisi's point that this application is technically defective. There is a requirement, a black and white requirement in the wetland regulations that every landowner who's part of the project has to consent in writing to the project, to the application, prior to the filing of the notice of intent. Now, it's undisputed that this driveway is being constructed on what's essentially the Western Ave extension. This is a private way. Town council has told you that already, which means that the abutters own this way to the center line. So my clients, Paul and Donna, own the land where this driveway is being proposed. But yet they've never been asked to consent to this application, and they haven't consented to this application. So this project can't go forward. This notice of intent should never have been filed. The commission doesn't have any authority to issue an order of conditions. I'm sorry that this is coming up late. I just was hired. I don't know if Attorney Sullivan had raised it prior, but this is a very, very important procedural requirement of the Wetland Protection Act. It's in the regulations at 10.04, and it hasn't been complied with. So I don't think the commission should close the hearing tonight. If anything, you should continue it for a couple of weeks and get advice from your own town council on this issue. But we are very concerned about the project in general. More substantively, our objection to the proposed design is the fact that this driveway is being put on our client's property entirely. And it would be more appropriate for this driveway to straddle the center line. Now, I know that's not a concern for the commission. That's not a wetland issue. But that is an objection that our clients have to this project.
Okay.
So I do want to just, again, restate, and consistent with Attorney DeLisi, that this application is procedurally defective and it cannot be waived by the commission, and the commission has no authority to issue an order of conditions until that issue is resolved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair Paquin, it's Adam Brodsky. Could I respond briefly? Because the commission has actually addressed this issue previously.
Go right ahead, Adam.
Thank you. And so obviously the portion of the turnaround is located within my client's owned right-of-way, and the proposed wheel runs are proposed over the portion owned by the GOES, but we have an easement over that portion for access because this is a private way, and all of the property owners on the original subdivision have access over that right-of-way. We have a colorable interest in title over the entirety of the way, and this commission actually dealt with that issue at 169 Beach Avenue with the Ferraras. Well, you may remember that the town was taking the position that the portion of the beach path within the undeveloped portion of Beach Avenue needed the town's signature on the notice of intent. And we made it clear to the Conservation Commission at that time that that's not what's required under the wetland regulations, because we had in that case, we claimed title, but would also have an easement over that. We had demonstrated a colorable interest in the way, and pursuant to the Schindler case, which is actually Town of Hull case, and I won't get into that, that's sufficient, and we did not need the other landowner's permission to file the notice of intent. The Conservation Commission denied that project. One of the grounds for denial was that we didn't get the signature of the town. DEP overturned the commission and specifically found that we were entitled to a superseding order of conditions, and that interests of property rights is not properly the subject of the wetlands regulations. Now, by way of disclosure, I do want to say that the Conservation Commission requested an adjudicatory hearing before the Office of Appeals and Dispute Resolution, which has been stayed for the last 2 or 3 years because the town also brought a land court action, which we won at trial, and which is now on appeal to the Supreme Judicial Court having to do with the title issues. But that DEP has already weighed in that all we need to demonstrate is a colorable claim to title because we have an easement over that portion of the way. We have a colorable claim to title. We're clearly entitled to file the notice of intent. We don't need anyone else's signature. And this is just another attempt to delay the matter. And again, you can look at my briefing on this issue in Ferrara. I did email that to Agent McDonald. You'll see the cases cited, the Schindler case. Again, it's actually a Town of Hull case, as well as the Tinley case, which is a Massachusetts Appeals Court case. This is a non-issue and raised at the last minute, not for any substantive reasons, because they want to delay this even further. So that's why we're so adamant about asking the commission to please close the public hearing. With respect to your concern regarding a peer review, please remember that Haley and Aldrich, that was hired by the abutters, had weighed in on this issue, and we provided a response and demonstrated that the grid system is commonly used. We provided all of the specifications. There's no need for any further peer review. We agree that it's a steep slope, but again, at the request of the abutters, we're trying to maintain the existing contours. In a perfect world, and in our first design, we did propose changing some of those contours to make this access easier. But the client's willing to live with less than perfect access in order to minimize alterations. And again, this is fundamentally a buffer zone project. It's a buffer zone project. Only a portion of those wheel runs and the turnaround are within your jurisdiction. And importantly, there's been no evidence presented this evening that anything that we're proposing doesn't meet the performance standards or protect the interests protected by the buffer zone for Coastal Bank. Nothing that's been discussed this evening has had any substantive wetland concern. We appreciate the concern that the neighbors don't want to see change. I get that. But they haven't presented any evidence that we are not protecting the interests on the act for Coastal Bank, or that somehow the project doesn't meet the requirements of the wetlands protection regulations.
Okay, thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Mr. Chairman, can I respond to that?
Who just asked that?
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, you go right ahead,
Daniel.
Dan.
Thank you very much.
Thank
I did review the case that Mr. Brodsky referred to on Beach Avenue. In that case, the facts are distinguishable. The lot in question, there was a title dispute over who owned it. It was either Mr. Brodsky's client or the town of Hull. The land court adjudicated that issue and said that his client owned it. It wasn't a situation that we have here today where the fee in the Western Ave extension is actually owned by my client, and that the distinction is that in the Beach Avenue case, the fee was owned by Mr. Brodsky's client. So it's not the same situation. I respectfully disagree with that analogy, and with all due respect, I don't think the commission needs Mr. Brodsky to tell us what my client's motivations are. This isn't about delay. This is about proper process. And there's a road, a driveway being proposed on their property. They want the process to be followed correctly. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Commissioners, what are you concerned? What do you want to do about it?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Lou.
In reality, this is what actually happens there.
So
in terms of like driving down to the houses in the wintertime.
Right. So my understanding is that this property was owned by a woman who only used it seasonally. And that when Ms. Amidon bought the property, she wants to use it year round. So she has to drive down that slope to park on her property, which she does.
So they're driving on the grass.
Correct. And so we're trying to prevent further erosion by building or to improving this to provide safer access for Ms. Amidon, safer access for public safety. We don't want people just driving down the grass, creating erosion. If the concern here is wetland and the possibility of erosion to the coastal bank, this is the better solution.
So I will note that the prior owner who lived there for more than 50 years, a family full-time, simply walked down the grass. They never drove.
Okay, thanks, Ann.
All right, so
I'm
sorry,
I have
she
another
did not
issue.
live here full time.
Excuse me.
The two owners though did live there full time for many, many, many years. The Bells.
Yeah, I understand.
We're not going to get into
Concom
an
has
argument
nothing to
amongst
do with
neighbors. Exactly.
full-time or part-time.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Lou.
Or an opinion, and it's really not wetlands, but it is relevant. Their access over that area is by easement. I've never seen that easement, not that it matters. I don't know whether they have the right to do anything but pass over it, or whether they have the right to fix it up, amend it, change it. I mean, that would be subject to I would throw this whole thing to the town council.
So Member Sorgi, there isn't an express grant of easement. We own the client owns a lot on the private way. And so by virtue of Massachusetts common law, they have access over that private way. They also have the right to improve that proper way, the right of way to get access to the property. So again, right now, there's no real road to the client's property. So we're simply modestly improving the way to facilitate access, on which I believe that even Attorney Sullivan conceded we have the right to do.
We have the right to access, that's for sure.
And to improve the way to facilitate access. And he actually asked me that question. I provided him with the cases that supported that and he ultimately agreed with you, yes, you're right. You have the ability to make those improvements. That's a property issue. That's not what's in front of the
Correct.
Conservation Commission. The question is, does this project meet the performance standards? And because there's no alteration of wetland resource area, there is no performance standard. We simply need to demonstrate that we're protecting the interests for which the coastal bank serves. So in this case, it's flood control and storm damage prevention. Where nothing that we're proposing to do is going to impair the stability of the bank that would impair those functions.
Okay, so we got three choices, as I see it. We can approve it, deny it, whichever way we go, there's going to be an appeal, or we can push it down the road and have town council weigh in with both attorneys, seeing as though there's Mr. Hill, who just got involved, and the other attorney who's not even here is involved. I don't see this ending with our vote. Attorney Brodsky's not wrong. We can weigh in on it as far as conservation is concerned. But that by no way authorizes them to go in and do it, other than we have the right to say yes or no, it doesn't affect the area and regulate it. But I suspect there's going to be a lot more trouble down the road in any event. So we can close the hearing one way or the other and let everybody fight over it, because that's what's going to happen. To be perfectly honest, no matter what we say tonight, no matter what Attorney Hill says, what the other attorney, I don't even remember his name, in his what he sent to us, and I read it, doesn't matter. It's all setting up for a fight. So,
right,
commissioners, we can weigh in on the wetlands portion of it and let them fight over actually building it.
Commissioners, what are your thoughts?
Chairman, if I could, I would just add my 2 cents onto that as far
Please
as
do.
Commissioner Sorgi. I fear getting too caught up into the land ownership concerns of these properties. And as we had just stated earlier before, and I mean Commissioner Sorgi.
Oh, I agree. I just said that
Yeah, I
one way
mean,
or another
certainly,
it's going to happen.
as it pertains to the Wetland Protection Act, the approval of this project does not go above any of the other permits or license and any other requirements prior to actual construction of this property. So I do understand the argument of the notice of intent signage. That might be something that goes through town council for some additional guidance, but still, I don't think that is necessarily the commission's position to make those determinations. So
well, it is our position to weigh in on whether the filing is proper.
I agree with that, and that
and
might
we
be
have
the
two
only
different
caveat.
sides. I've heard
Yeah.
Attorney Brodsky's argument, and I'm familiar with the 169 Beach Ave situation. I've also heard Attorney Hill's side of it. I think there's merit to that argument, although I'm not sure which way it lands. I do think that none of us have the ability to weigh in on our own opinion, even though I have one. And I think we should throw it to town council to determine the sufficiency of the application.
I agree.
Because with that does regulate whether or not we can make an opinion, whether it's a sufficient application or not.
Any other commissioners would like to speak? Is there anyone from the public who would like to speak who has not spoken so far, or who have something new to say about this? Okay. Is there anything that was in all those emails that came through today, Ian, and yesterday? Yes. Is there anything new in there that the commission had not already reviewed?
I do believe we did receive some material today, maybe even 2 letters.
Okay.
And then from the latest was Adam. So there should be some material the commission does have to review from the abutters to this project. So I don't believe the commission has had sufficient time to review those portions, but as far as the revised plan, I believe that has been sent along with sufficient time for review.
Okay, so there's one reason there to continue. Is there anyone else who feels as I do, that I just don't have, especially now finding out that the parking space is going to be at an angle and turning around is going to be on another angle? I don't feel sufficiently qualified to make a decision as whether this technology is really appropriate or not.
Chair Paquin, it's Adam Brodsky. I saw that Ms. Kylie had sent a message across at least my screen to indicate that town council had actually weighed in on the issue of the notice of intent. I don't know if that's accurate. The question for you, Chair Paquin, is not whether you have confidence or knowledge regarding the technology. The question is whether the project is going to impair the stability of the coastal bank. We'll rely upon our professional engineers to design things with within the appropriate standard of care to create a safe access. That's not the issue. The issue is narrowly focused.
I disagree with you, and I'll leave
Oh,
it
I
at
see
that.
that.
Who was that who just spoke? Oh, it doesn't matter. Okay, commissioners, is there a motion? Does somebody want to
Somebody
make a
just
motion?
flashed up something from the select board.
Yeah, that was
What
me. Sorry, I was just taking a look at this, and it is reference to what Renee had
I don't
just
think we
mentioned.
should all be seeing that, do you?
Yeah, it was made public and was to be shared with the commission. Who was that?
Should we be reading that?
Yes. This is for the commission to.
Yeah,
to
you're showing it to the public.
Chair Paquin, I'm familiar with that memo. That was a memo that simply confirmed that Western Avenue is a private way, not a
Private way,
public
right,
way,
exactly.
as many
Exactly.
many.
This has already been shared.
Yeah,
that's
that's
correct.
not the issue.
Yeah.
No.
A private
The
way
issue
that
is
was
the
always intended
sufficiency
to
of
be
the
public.
application.
Sorry, guys. I knew there was an email, but I can't get into my email right now. So I just couldn't remember what it was about.
Okay. What are your thoughts, Sam?
No, I said the memo just summarizes that it's a private way that was always intended to be
Yeah.
public, and a procedural failure has resulted in it remaining a private way. Particularly relevant because this is, as noted previously, one of the key access points from the waterfront access study.
Got it.
But
Tammy and Paul,
Campbell,
what do you-
legally a private way. So,
Yeah, no, I think I said that.
yes, sir.
Yep.
Well, it's up to the applicant. If they want us to take a vote, I don't know if we can continue without permission.
Yeah, you can't continue without permission.
Correct.
So member Sorgi, I think Ms. Amidon is incredibly frustrated after having spent all this time with Attorney Sullivan, thinking we reached agreement, only to have Attorney Sullivan out of the picture, and obviously we have Attorney DeLisi and Attorney Hill here.
Right, we have two new attorneys.
If you wish town council to weigh in on what I think is a fairly straightforward regulatory issue as to whether or not we need anyone else's signatures, Ms. Amidon is fine with that. But we just don't want to come back and have to address additional questions that weren't previously answered before. If that's the only issue you're looking for from town council, we have no problem with a continuance. We just don't want this to continue endlessly.
Yeah, that's
dealing with
valid.
new people, new arguments. You know, it's not fair to the applicant.
I agree.
And again, if the commission votes to issue an order, all of these people have their rights to appeal to DEP. I'm not encouraging the commission to deny the project. It's really not fair to my clients who have to appeal and then get superseding orders reversing the commission. So I believe that we've demonstrated that we meet our burden of proof here, that this is a permittable project. It should be approved. If the abutters appeal, we'll have to address it then. But if you want to have Attorney Winter speak to this narrow issue, we're fine with one additional continuance.
Well, I personally would like town council to weigh in on the two sides. Because that seems to be the only argument at this point, is the sufficiency of the application. Attorney Hill didn't raise any issues with regards to the land, and I know Attorney Sullivan and you had worked it out, and We don't have the other attorney to say, nope, what he said was wrong. We don't agree anymore. That's a big issue. That's like forum shopping almost.
Tammy, how do you feel about this?
Do you want my Concom opinion?
Of course. Yes.
So setting aside all of the legalities, I think that this design makes a lot more sense than the asphalt for sure. I think some of the issues that we had previously with discussions about runoff, about the perviousness of the project have been addressed with this approach. And I'm going to assume that it will work because an engineer says it does. So I feel like this is a much better project than the one that we saw day one.
I agree with that.
Thank you. Paul Wilson, what do you think?
I agree with Lou. I think that we should wait for town council and make sure it's a proper NOI. And then what the construction looks like, and I agree with Tammy regarding the conservation part of it looks good to me. I just want to make sure that it's all in regulatory.
Okay.
So I have another question. I mean, this goes back to the facts. So this seems to make sense in terms of driving up and down the bank. I know this. If you have a rainstorm and the owner, our applicant at 48 wants to go up the hill, they're going to be driving up a grass-covered piece of land, spinning their tires. So from a conservation perspective, I think this is an improvement to that situation. If it was only a walkway, that would be a different issue. But we're driving cars up and down this thing.
I don't think they're doing that anymore, Lou, or have ever done that.
But they may.
They're when our client drives up and down that hill.
Okay.
How does the Ronins get to their house?
We walk from Highland Ave.
So you park on Highland and walk down the hill.
Yes.
Okay. But you could drive if you wanted.
Legally.
Yeah, right.
But safely, no.
Because you have an easement too.
Right.
Okay. That's all I needed to know. There is a risk, my opinion, that it is, and I'm going to give you my legal opinion a little bit. It is a legal access for the Ronins as well as our applicant, and they have the right to drive on it. And we're looking at a hill with grass that's never been disturbed because apparently nobody ever opted to drive on it. But the new applicant, Gretchen Amadon, can opt to drive up and down that if she wants. You can even get a four-wheel drive and put big tires on it with big sort of cleatsy things in it. Drive. What about the winter? So we have to consider that because we're talking about preserving the bank. Question now, mock the sufficiency of the NOI. I'm talking about from a conservation perspective and protecting the bank. Yeah, we'll protect the bank if nobody's driving on it. And okay, in the past, nobody drove on it. But now we have a new owner who wants to drive on it, who wants to park her car down by her house. And she has the right to do that. Nobody's disputing that. So that could really dig up the bank.
Lou, just a question. I don't know one way or the other. Because an owner has the right to go up and down, does it say it's okay to walk? Obviously, probably, but is it expressly given the right to create a road to drive down, or why not create
That's two different issues. Creating the road and the driving are two different issues. I don't have the easement in front of me, so I'm not going to render a legal opinion.
Gotcha.
I'm going by what Attorney Brodsky says they have the right to drive down there.
Gotcha. Okay.
And based on that right to now, that's where the appeal would come in. I'm not going to get involved in that, but
right.
It
So can
seems
I
to
ask,
me,
are you saying that according to the commission, it would be good to plow this in the wintertime?
I'm not saying anything. What I'm saying is we have to determine whether or not this project actually is protecting the bank, considering what the use could be. That's all. That's all we have to. I'm just saying it for the other commissioners to consider. You know,
Good point.
if you don't do this and we turn it down because we think this is going to harm the bank, then we're leaving the bank as a grass bank with an access easement over it for the Ronins too, by the way. You may choose not to do it, but you have the right to do it. You can't stop. Again, I don't know the legalities of that easement, but arguably that Gretchen Amadon can drive up and down that bank on the grass.
Okay. Is there a motion by any commissioners?
Well, I think that Adam agreed that we could have 2 weeks to have town council look at the sufficiency of the application. So I would say I would like to make a motion to continue the hearing for the purposes of having town council weigh in on the sufficiency of the NOI for 2 weeks till July 14th.
Is there a second to this motion?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion of the motion? Attorney Brodsky, for the sake of the record, you're giving us permission to extend for 2 weeks.
Till July 14th, I believe was the motion. Is that
Yeah, July 14th.
Yep, July 14th.
I have another hearing that night, but we agree and we'll figure out the scheduling.
Thank you very much. Okay. I'll take the roll. Let me see who's next here. Lou, you're next.
Aye.
Paul Paquin, I'm for it. Paul Wilson.
Aye.
Sam. Sam Campbell.
We lost Sam.
Sorry. Aye.
Thank you. Tammy Best.
Aye.
The motion passes. Thank you all so very much. We'll see you on July 14th, on July 14th.
Ian, can you get all this stuff over to town council tomorrow?
Yep, absolutely.
And put an ASAP on it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's
yeah, I
all
believe-
read these documents that we got, okay?
Yeah. And we have to look at them too, but I want this on town council's desk tomorrow morning.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
I'm pretty sure they've already received a good portion of this, so I will make sure that they have the latest.
Right. Let them know that we want an answer by the 14th.
Will do.
Need,
Okay.
not just want.
What? I don't
Okay.
mean to stamp my feet, but yeah, I want it by the 14th.
I hear you
Okay.
loud and clear.
We are 803. 103
Thank you, Adam.
Rockaway Avenue. DEP number SE 35-1921. This is the continuation by Edward and Judy Lenormand. Proposed work, construct a single-family residence in buffer to a BVW, bordering vegetated wetlands on a coastal bank. A butter notification has been provided. The resource areas are within a 50-foot buffer to bordering vegetated wetlands, partially within land subject to coastal storm flowage of AE 10 feet. Site visits have been done many times over many years. The interest of the act is storm damage and pollution prevention and flood control. The proposed driveway requires the filling of a portion of a bordering vegetated wetland that is the extent on the site. This work is already partially completed under an earlier 2015 order of conditions that received a certificate of compliance in July 2025. Welcome. Edward and Judy, are you with us tonight?
So I'm not sure if we do have them with us this evening. I didn't see them in our meeting. And I'm happy to report back just as far as where they were at prior to our last meeting.
Okay.
I've been in communication with the applicant, and he's been trying to coordinate with his environmental scientist to provide some updated plans to the commission. So we're still awaiting those updated plans to be finalized for the commission to then review. So in short, still waiting final plans, and once we get those, will be sent over for review. Hadn't heard from the applicant, so wanted to leave them on the agenda to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Okay. Is there anyone from the public who has something to say about this project at 103 Rockaway Ave? Not hearing any then, I'll entertain a motion to continue as a courtesy.
I move that we continue the hearing on 103 Rockaway Ave until July 14th.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you so much. Roll. Paul Paquin, I'm for it. Paul Wilson.
Aye.
Thank you. Sam.
Aye.
Thank you. Tammy
Aye.
and Lou.
Aye.
Thank you both.
Mhm.
Okay, it being 8:05.
Mr.
Yes,
Sa-
Renee, go right ahead.
So I believe I made an error on the commissioner's agenda. It is posted on the public agenda. A 169. When I went in to delete one note, it looks like I deleted an entire listing. So 169 Beach Ave.
Was that on the agenda for the
It
public?
is on the
It's on the
public
public
post-
agenda.
It's public posted agenda.
Okay, that's okay. We can live with that.
So
So
I
once
did just email you that, Paul, if you needed to take a look at that, just to provide some of the details. But I think we're fairly familiar. But
let
I
me
did
read
send you
it
that
off
if you needed that.
let me read it off your screen.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it being 8:06, 169 Beach Ave, DEP number SE 35-1940. This is the opening of a notice of intent by John Ferrara. The proposed work after the fact installation of water line within the coastal dune. Ian, since I don't see the rest of it, would you read the rest for me, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Just one second. One more. So the resource areas for 169 Beach Ave are going to be as follows. The project area is within a 100-foot buffer zone to the coastal beach and the coastal dune. It is within a barriered beach, and that has relevance to storm damage protection, flood control, and likely wildlife habitat. It is also within land subject to coastal storm flowage in a FEMA flood zone VE 14 feet done. This was a process of an enforcement order that was issued after the work had transpired. Since that enforcement order has been issued and several meetings had been conducted with the applicant and the commission, the enforcement order required the restoration of the disturbed areas, which were then replanted and slightly regraded to achieve the pre-disturbed conditions. So that process has already been done, and in going through that, just to provide some additional details, the commission had denied the property owner's request to amend their current orders of conditions and had required that they submit a notice of intent to capture the work that was done outside of the orders of conditions. So with that, I will hand it back to the chair.
Thank you so much. John Ferrara, are you with us tonight or somebody representing him?
Chair Paquin, it's Adam Brodsky again.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir. And I represent John and Kathleen Ferrara, the applicants. I'm here with Lou Eister from CGC Builders, the builder, as well as Cameron Larson, a wetland scientist with ECR. Agent McDonald has given you a good summary of why we're here. Just a few additional points. The Ferraras had obtained an order of conditions to raise and reconstruct the existing dwelling, and that dwelling was served by a water service which connects to a water main within the undeveloped portion of Beach Avenue, and as indicated by Agent McDonald, partially covered by coastal dune. Mr. Eister was instructed to replace that water service and in fact had consulted several people prior to doing that. At no time was he told to obtain any additional permitting. There was a complaint And as a result of that complaint, we were requested to submit an amended order seeking after-the-fact authorization, and the Conservation Commission issued an EO. We did submit that request to amend, and also at that time requested approval of the restoration plan provided by ECR. The commission did approve the restoration plan, but did not approve the amendment. And so we were required to file this notice of intent. And as Agent McDowell indicated, the restoration work was completed in April. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to Cameron, and happy to answer any questions when he's done with his presentation. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Adam. Thank you, Commission. So again, Cameron Larson with ECR.
Okay.
I don't have a whole lot to add to it other than the fact that ECR was out on site following the completion of the restoration. The restoration work was done all in accordance with the approved plan. We documented that compliance and provided a completion memo that is now part of the record. And now moving forward, we will be in the monitoring phase of this project, and we'll be monitoring that restoration area over the next several growing seasons to ensure that that area grows in fully, and keep those invasives out, replant any dead stock if necessary. But that's essentially that. There's no additional work proposed tonight as part of this notice of intent. And if there's any questions, we're happy to address them.
Thank you. So Ian, for the sake of simplicity, this is a request to legitimize the connection that's already there?
I don't know if I would go as far to say that. I would
Okay,
say
what would you say?
this notice of intent is being filed to receive the commission's vote for the after the fact work.
Gotcha. Including the connection to the existing pipe.
Yeah, I would, yes, including the connection to the pipe, but certainly from the disturbed areas of the resource areas, I think is the main focus of the commission.
Got it. Commissioners, what do you think? The work's been done now of restoring that dune area, etc. What are your thoughts?
Oh, it's Tammy.
Yeah.
Just one question to see if we have any recent photos. I remember the last time we met, we did see, and we talked about whether it was, the same elevations had been matched, but just wanted to see once it was planted. Thank you.
I'm not sure if I have. We may be able to obtain an aerial, but I don't have the latest one after the work has been completed. I'm not sure if that's something ECR could provide to us, but I think that would be beneficial.
But those of you who've seen the site, what do you think? Does it look like it was, it's back to the way it was?
Well, this is Cameron from ECR. I don't have any more recent photos than the April completion photos, but I can confirm that there was no changes to that grade. That dune remains in line with the adjacent dune on either side. There was some minor raking just to kind of prime the area for planting, but all that grade remains the same.
Okay, thank you. For what it's worth, that's the way it looked for me too. My 2 cents. Okay, is there anyone from the public who has anything to say about this project? Chris Crawford, are you on the line with us tonight?
Yeah, I am. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, I did have one question. And Ian, if you can just stay with the, that plan.
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm always fascinated to exactly where the water main is located, and this plan shows it 10 feet from the boundaries. And I think the plan below that shows the existing and proposed has the water main right up against the foundation. And then the question I had was looking at the photos of disturbance extended well beyond where that water main is. Can the applicant explain why, if that's where the water main is located as shown in the map, why was the disturbance almost twice as far out towards the ocean in the dune? I thought from the photographs that actually the water main seemed to be located further out. So I was confused with this plan.
So Chair Paquin, this is Adam Brodsky. I confirm with David Ray. You remember that the original existing conditions plan was based upon publicly available records, which he obtained from the water company to locate the water main. This plan reflects the revised location, which David confirmed. So I can confirm that this is the location of the water main. With respect to the nature of the work, I don't know the answer to that question. I don't think it's relevant since we've restored it. But if Mr. Eister is here and he knows the answer to that question, I'll invite him to answer it. Again, it's all been restored.
Okay, thank you. For what it's worth, gentlemen, I've seen a number of these little cards that show where the line is. They are just basically drawings on a cardboard card, a small card that says where the people believe they are, done by the people in the field. So anyways, now we know exactly where it is because the water company has weighed in and directly addressed this with the contractor. But nonetheless, what do you think? What are your concerns? There was some word, I think this is the project where we had some word that some people wanted this line to be abandoned, etc., and not connected to, etc.
Well, that's not up to us. It's up to
That's
the
not
water
up to
company.
us. Exactly right. It's not up to us. At least in my opinion, also, Lou.
I mean, the original issue was the dune, and it's been put back according to an approved plan.
Yeah.
Ian, can you scroll down to the Natural Heritage and Endangered Species Program information that's included in this memo?
In here or the MISA letter?
Wherever the MISA letter is, I saw it earlier when you were scrolling through.
Yeah, it's right over here.
Yep. So if you just scroll down to second or third page. Keep going.
Must be in here, no? Oh, wait, there's anything
I thought
here?
I saw a list of conditions, that next attachment.
Sorry, didn't see that.
Thank you.
Yep.
So I just want to be sure that, I know the work is already done, but for the sake of consistency, these conditions should be attached to any order that's issued for this after work.
Okay. Good point. Anything else, commissioners? Okay, is
What's
there
the monitoring frequency? Are we just going out once a year? What are we looking at for kind of assessment of success of vegetation in the area?
I thought we had addressed that with respect to approval of the restoration plan. Cam, do you know the monitoring frequency?
Yes. So we've outlined it'll be once a year at the end of the growing season for 2 years following completion.
And what was the success criteria that we had established?
I believe it was 75% survival rate of all plantings.
Okay. Yeah, so I would just say I'd like to see that, and I think this was attached to our last discussion about the restoration plan, but just reiterating that the results of that monitoring should be shared with the department staff, just for the record.
Okay. That can be a special condition for us. Is there anyone from the public who has something to say about this project? Back to the commission. Any more that needs to be said? I'll entertain a motion then.
Sam, can you do this with the special conditions and stuff? You're more familiar with it than I am.
Sure.
Thanks.
I guess I'll just ask beforehand, Ian and Renee, do you want me to read out all of these, or are you okay if we just have a blanket statement that, issuing specials, inclusive of everything from the NHESP feedback, as well as, then I can list out the monitoring one that we discussed.
Yeah, on my end, I have no problem adding that. I can find that, and we already have, this on record, so shouldn't be a problem.
Okay. In that case, I move that we issue an order of conditions for 169 Beach Ave with the special conditions that the results of the 2-year monitoring program be shared with the Hull Conservation Commission or department staff, as well as inclusion of all 4 conditions provided by Natural Heritage and Endangered Species Program.
Great, thank you.
Perfect.
Is
Thanks.
there a second to this motion?
Second.
Thank you, Lou. Any discussion of the motion? Not hearing any, I'll take the roll. Paul Wilson.
Aye.
Sam Campbell.
Aye.
Tammy Best.
Aye.
Lou Sorgi.
Aye.
Paul Paquin, I'm for it also. So it's unanimous. We are issuing our orders of conditions to allow this project to go forward, or in this case, be accepted. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you, Commission.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Okay, it being 8:22, North Nantasket Beach Operations and Maintenance Plan. Is there anything that we need to talk about tonight regarding this? Has everything been satisfied? Chris Crawford?
I don't know if now would be the right time to address our possible amendment, but I don't think we've got to that point yet, but it may be something that we're going to do prior to receiving a vote from the commission.
Okay, well, Chris is not reacting right now. Let me hold on to it then. Let's go straight to new old business. Okay?
I thought there was going to be a continuation.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Oh, you are? Go
Yeah,
ahead, Chris.
It's actually DPW representing this project.
Oh, sorry
I
about
don't know
that.
if Chris is Chris Gardner here. And then I think the thing with this before you move on, Mr. Chair,
Yes.
is I think DPW is trying to modify the language on seaweed management and to include options. So options of burial, options of removal to compost, and then raking. So that language and that amendment, it's appropriate here because we're not amending in order of conditions. We're just the town's stepping through this order of conditions. I don't think it's a significant change that requires an amendment. That's the question I think Ian was raising. So
Gotcha.
but I would rather have DPW speak to this because they're the ones trying to figure out how to do that, number one. And then residents have been calling our office about what the plan is. And I've let them know that this is before Concom. So that's probably a good place to hear the discussion and understand, where the town's at. So I would just say, Mr. Chair, at this point, I did share some language that changed that. And I think it was highlighted in red.
Yeah.
We shared that also with Natural Heritage, and also discovered that we hadn't paid their review fee. So they were waiting for that. So we should hear from Natural Heritage soon. This issue of, I think, everything else on the O&M plan, you've had a chance to go through and hear and digest. The only new piece is And Paul, you and I, we've been at site and talked about this, about potentially burying the seaweed on site. I do have those plans and that language, but again, I would rather have DPW present and speak to that. And I don't,
Okay.
Chris, doesn't seem like Chris Gardner's here tonight.
In that case, let us, I recommend that we continue this for 2 weeks, and please, let's ask Chris to show up or have somebody represent them.
Sure.
But hold for a minute, Lou, or whoever's going to make them. Is there anyone from the public who has something to say about this at this time? Okay, in that case, I'll entertain that motion to continue.
I move that we continue the hearing on North Nantasket Beach operation and maintenance plan until July 14th.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. The roll, Sam.
Aye.
Tammy.
Aye.
Lou.
Aye.
Paul Paquin on for it. Paul Wilson.
Aye.
It passes. Thank you. Okay, 51 Harbor View Road, SE 35-1743. What's going on with that? Except it's
This is under old and new business. This isn't a hearing.
Right. This is not a hearing. Sorry about that. Thanks,
Nope,
Lou.
not a hearing, not a hearing. So this was just something we wanted to bring to the commission's attention, as far as I would coin it as the state's reigniting their process for receiving some alternative analysis and a varied list of some other requirements. So if I hadn't sent that email along to the commission, I certainly will, but it was just a request from DEP requesting some additional details for furthering the notice of intent process, or a superseding order of conditions, actually.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, we could jump in real quick on that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Chris. Thank you.
Yeah, so DEP, I think they're realizing that the period for this review is expiring, so they're acting on it. And it looked like, from my quick read, that they adopted a lot of the recommendations or the reasoning for denial from the commission. So all the additional information that the commission sought. So if you get a chance, look at that piece. I think we did send that to you. I just wanted to put that on the agenda so you're aware that 51 Harbor View, that Coastal Bank issue that we're concerned about, I think that is also sort of related to the Western Ave concern from the commission.
Yeah.
DEP is looking at that quite closely because of that embankment failure was critical.
Okay, let's all read that very, very carefully, because even though DEP takes over this stuff, they really still expect us to be watching it, because they're not sending anybody into Hull to take a look at 51 Harbor View Road. So let's take a look at it and talk about it next meeting. So Ian, please put it on the next meeting, please.
Absolutely.
And send us whatever is new.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Will do.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. 246 Nantasket Road, DEP number SE 35-1887. What's going on? Oh, wait a minute. Let me hold for a minute. Is there anyone from the public who has something to say about 51 Harbor View Road? Okay. So
when it's old, like a point of interest, when it's an old and new business, is it open to the public to discuss it too?
Well, it may or may not be, but I think it's certainly.
We're not opening a hearing.
No, I know, but it's from my perspective as the chair, I think it's important if the public knows something that they'd like to say about it, we at least owe them the courtesy of hearing them. I think anyway.
Okay.
Because the public may live next door to them. And that's certainly better than my monitoring. Sure. 246 Nantasket Road. DEP number SE 35-1887. Ian, what's going on there?
Yeah, so this was a property that the commission had permitted to return to existing conditions. So long story short, it was an after-the-fact retaining wall. Certainly, we'll call it a retaining wall. That had an enforcement order issued to return the coastal bank to pre-existing conditions as far as slight regrading, the addition of some jute netting, and establishing some vegetation to help stabilize the coastal bank. So nonetheless, that project has been underway and, as I said, did receive an order of conditions to have that work proceed. So taking a look at it now, you are starting to see some signs of erosion, and the jute netting doesn't particularly stay on the coastal bank as well as it certainly should. So it's become a cause of concern for seeing any increased erosion. We do have a roadway right off of that coastal bank, so it's certainly been another cause of concern. But nonetheless, I did reach out to the property owner over the weekend prior to this meeting, letting him know of the commission's concern, and the applicant or the representative did let me know that they did have ECR do the planting plan. So if appropriate, he said that the proponent could provide an update to the commission in July after ECR conducts their inspection. So that was where we're at now, looking to get an update to the commission in July.
Okay. Commissioners, have you seen this location?
Yeah, not recently, but yeah.
It's from my point of view, it has completely failed.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any photos of it? I haven't had a
should.
chance to see it since they did the initial
Yeah.
work.
There's nothing tied to the ground. It's floating in the air. But here's the thing I noticed when I was there. The water main from the town for that whole part of this place appears to be less than 4 or 5 feet away from the top of that bank. So it's not the road so much as the water main.
I'll have to upload them. I have them on my phone. I can send them to you guys.
Okay.
But so yeah, nonetheless, we will get an update from the applicant at our next hearing, and I will request that they be there to provide that update.
Okay. Commissioners, those of you who have seen it, any thoughts?
I haven't seen recently. I saw it before.
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah, I
changed.
need to take a look at it.
My perspective is that it has changed a whole lot.
We should do a site visit before the next meeting.
Yeah.
I'll include it.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you. 9 Manomet Ave, SE 35-1845.
Chairman, before we get into it,
Okay.
is the applicant or the representative here for 9 Manomet Avenue?
Is there anyone here for 9 Manomet Ave, please? Okay, not hearing any, not seeing any, they're not. Now, what's the issue from your point of view, Ian?
So where we have last left it, as far as the commission's standpoint, I would say, was, to my knowledge, I'll have to check the file to confirm, but I do believe the commission had issued or voted to issue the enforcement order for this restoration portion of 9 Manomet Avenue.
Yeah.
In working with the representative of 9 Manomet Avenue, they had asked us to hold off on actually issuing the enforcement order due to the applicant wanting to receive their location or license location from the select board in order to conduct that work prior to issuing the enforcement order. So Adam Brodsky was representative for that a while back. He had requested that we get them on an agenda to continue the process and have the commission finalize that as far as the enforcement order goes. I did reach out to them, but haven't heard back. I know that the applicant was dealing with some health concerns a while back, so we had put it on the back burner, but I wanted to get this back on the agenda in front of the commission in the hopes of moving this forward, but it appears that we don't have the applicant.
Mr. Chair, just a quick follow-up. This is actually another matter for town council, so we kept it on the agenda so we wouldn't lose it, but town council will be at, Lou had sent a message wanting some town council products. Actually, town council will be at our next meeting. We'll insist upon it because we do have issues that require town council's presence. So this will be one of those.
Okay. Ian, I'll leave it up to you to to educate town council before the next meeting, however. And the other thought regarding this is, and we've often made this error in years on the Concom, and that is we forget to put a date by which we expect the work to be done. Let's all try to do our very best to remember this, because there are so many people that we issue orders of condition, but we forget to tell them it's got to be done by this point. Now, very few things really require being done by a certain point, but the ones that have to be done should be well noted, so we know. And 9 Manomet Ave, if you remember, we permitted them to replant that whole section, but they haven't done anything yet except park their cars on it. You know, so it's for those
So
who
we usually, Mr. Chair, we usually do in enforcement orders to specify specific dates, and we experienced that with 169 Beach Ave recently, and how even incorporating those sort of mandates in time get challenged by council, and
of course
9 Manomet is one of those cases that engaged and got involved with a number of lawyers on that, Brodsky, Lamke, and now our new town council. So just, I realize and I appreciate that sentiment. And
yeah, it's just bad socially, because people say horrible things on Facebook, but when the neighbors don't see anything happening for years on end, it's what I even get people who come up to me and say, yeah, how much did you get paid off not to do anything?
Well, that happens to me all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure it does, Lou. If you're in any one of these restaurants in this town, I've had everything from people hissing at me to saying 4-letter words. We really have to, when it's something that's adversely affecting the resource area, we should have a date and time and hold people to those times. Otherwise, turn it into our method of enforcement. I mean, this is one of the problems in American society, right? There's nobody enforcing anything. Okay, my 2 cents. Anything else, commissioners? I didn't have time to read the minutes. I have not been around. Has anyone gone through these minutes, and are we ready to vote on them?
I agree with Tammy.
Yeah, Paul, I went through them. Very, very, very minor.
Good. I trust you completely. I'll entertain a motion then for both of these minutes.
I move that we approve the minutes for May 12th and May 26th.
Is there a second?
As amended.
Second. Thank you. Thank you. As a discussion, I'll just say, even if you don't read the minutes ahead of time before, it's good to read them after, because at least for me, it makes me sharper for the next meeting, which may have something to do in the minutes. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take the roll. Let me see. Tammy.
Aye.
That's appropriate. Thank you. Lou.
Aye.
Paul Paquin on Fort. Paul Wilson.
Aye.
Thank you. Sam.
Aye.
Campbell. Thank you very much. Okay. Anything new that's happened that we need to bring up here?
I would just say a call out to anybody that's online that's interested in being a commissioner.
That's a very good point. If there's anyone who is younger than I am who's looking to be a commissioner,
I have somebody who asked me.
Who? Well, you don't have to tell me. Please encourage them to contact us. And
I thought we were full.
I think actually Kate had sent out an email earlier
Yeah.
today expressing that she was willing to step aside because she's been having a difficult time committing to the commission. And if there was a ready and viable candidate that could fill that, she would feel it would be more appropriate for them to fill her spot. That's her message, and she sent it to the commission. If you hadn't had a chance to read it, I'm just reiterating it here.
Yeah.
For,
Okay.
for
Well,
everybody.
somebody asked
Thank
me
you
the
so
other
much.
day, so I'll reach
And
out.
there are
and have
some
them-
of us who are peeking at the senior citizen world would love to be replaced.
I know,
I'd
and I'm
love to-
sorry, Paul. I took away your opportunity of escape, I think, right there. So heads up anyway. Please,
Well-
anybody that's still online that is interested in the commission, our staff will support that candidate.
So what's
and
the
we-
first thing they do? Call select board?
Yes.
They
Well, no,
should-
the best thing is probably to tell Ian.
Yep.
Tell
So have them
Concom.
call in
So
to
that
Ian or Chris or Renee?
so they absolutely can reach out to us and would be happy to chat with anybody
Okay.
about them.
All right.
Yeah.
If there is an opening or when there is an opening, it will be posted. And they would apply through the town clerk.
Yeah. And
Okay. I'll reach out
please
and have them call the town.
yeah, please encourage them to at least sit in on one meeting. I don't want them to be blindsided when they show up.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
mean,
I will.
as far as I remember, for the last almost 40 years, I don't think anybody ever just got up and left. But that may happen someday.
Never know.
You know,
Move
it's a
to South
surprise.
Carolina.
All right, anything else going on?
Nope.
All right, I'll just say that it seems to be far less birds. I'm just blown away by it. Something has changed. Okay, my 2 cents. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn then.
I move that we adjourn the hearing for the Hull Conservation Commission for June 23rd.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. I'll take the roll. Lou,
Aye.
Paul Paquin, I'm for it. Paul Wilson,
Aye.
Sam,
Aye.
and Tammy.
Hi.
Thank you so very much. Special thanks to Ian and Renee and Chris. I didn't mention it at the beginning of the meeting because I was so tired. I truly appreciate the work that was done. And tonight could have been a really tough night, and yet we did okay. Have a good night. Enjoy the summer.
Thank you, guys.
Good night. And
Night.
See you in
all
a
the
couple
people
weeks.
who stood in there with us. Kathy, thanks so much.
We appreciate the company.
Okay, take care.
Thank you all.
Thanks,
Have a good night.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.